Hey, yo, it's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk. Thanks for tuning in. I do appreciate it. Loaded into Fiery Salient in my T-25 Pilot 1 Tier 8 American Premium Medium Tank. And we are in a Tier 9, Tier 8 battle, a 5-10 battle. And we have spawned into the south side, so I will actually head up to the hill there. A couple options with this tank. And in actuality, with this tank, it can play in any area of this map. It does pretty well in the middle, because of the turret is decent and it's got good depression. Does well up on the hill, which is where I'm going for some of the same reasons. And you can even go on the 1 and 2 line and support down there. You see where the low, the Super and the T-34 and the E-75 are going. It does excel there as well. Of course, there is a big artillery piece and some fairly large guns with some decent depression plus TD sitting in the back. So instead of pile in where the rest of those guys are on the 5-6 line, I'll come up here, and now we are going to form that symbiotic relationship between the guys on the hill and the guys sniping from the 5-6 line down there. We're going to call this one Get Her Done, because one of the things I harp on quite a bit is making sure that you're doing the things your team needs you to do. And I'm going to do a little bit of both here. I'm going to do some of the things my team needs me to do, and then I'm going to delay a little bit on doing some of the things my team needs me to do. So I'll show you what I'm doing with my camera. We're going to come in here where that Scorpion G is, and that bush is a pretty good spot to start from. You'll have shots down on the 5-6 line. If they do pop and over to our right, pop up and over to our right, you can actually shoot through those bushes and not get spotted for quite a while, because there's quite a few bushes between you and them. The only problem is we don't have anybody behind us on the top of the hill. So I'm expecting any moment for their tanks to come up and over and start spotting us down here, and that will make us available to be shot by their 5-6 line guys. And you can tell that our 5-6 line guys are taking hits now, which means more than likely there is somebody where it was just clicked. So the low is clicking there. I noticed that. I can see that they're taking some shots. So we have 4 or 5 tanks there, so I decide, you know what, alright, let's go see what we can do. The trick here on this hill is you've got to use this little low spot that's right in front of me there, pop up and over, get a light, and then get back down to the low spot so that it is more difficult for the guys down, the enemy reds down on the 5 and 6 line to hit you. There's also the RD to deal with, and there's also TDs potentially up on the A line, up on their hill. Holy cow, there are quite a few of them. So found them. Those are the guys that were shooting our 5-6 line, and now our guys are going to have shots on them to include our artillery. So that's the Get Her Done part. I've gone up, and I'm going to continue to start working on this. Lighting these guys up. As soon as they get unlit, come up and over, see if I can't get a shot or two on these dudes. There's the 103 gets hammered. Our artillery is shooting in there. Our guys are shooting into them from below. The Maushan is very slowly moving up to help. Now they've gone dark, so we'll come up and over. Got to get her done. Let's get these guys dead or at least damaged. And it's time to go to gold. I'm bouncing off the side of a KV-5. So I got some fairly decently armored guys down there. Let's go ahead and click. Number 2, load some skill and go for it. And you can tell that the depression on this tank is fantastic. So I'm able to actually come up over here and take shots. Interestingly, I have not been targeted by Artie, and I have not been shot by any TDs. But the Maushan is pretty soon not going to be able to say the same. He comes up and over and gets a free shot in there. Now the danger of what I'm doing is you will have guys like that 416 trolling down there waiting for you to come up and over, and they're probably plinking away at that Maushan as hard as possible. So one of the things about using a medium in a situation like this is if you're perceived as the lesser threat, then you may actually not take the aggro as much as, say, the Maushan, who's way too high up on the hill there anyway. This shot just goes completely off to the right. But 416 does get threatened and he runs off, and now I'll just keep coming up here. I'm trying to keep these guys lit, put more shots into them as much as possible. And of course I keep coming up in the same spot, and I haven't been hit by any TDs, which at the moment I'm feeling like there's probably not one there. There actually is. I will find that out fairly soon. That goes into the mantlet, so it does not pin. Maushan's been hit pretty hard. You can see we've got a bunch of guys up here. So now we're starting to win. We're whittling these guys away on the back side of the hill right here. Put another shot into the KV-5. So this is pretty well handled. I'm going to take care of this KV-5 here. We get rid of him. Now there's just an IS-3. course, the IS-3, if he's left alone, is going to have more shots on the low and the E-75. In addition to that, the artillery continue to work on them. With the object and the mutant down there lighting them, that M53, 55 on the enemy team can continue to just throw shots in there. You can see that they're all hurt, all more or less down to one shots. And the E-75 is raging, which is understandable because he continues to take hits. There he says, push the effing hill. And he's right, because here's the part where I said, I'm not getting her done, I'm not doing what I need to do. The problem is there's so many TDs left on the board, and while I didn't take any hits, I suspect there's one, maybe two up there on the A line, up on their hill, and they may have been just shooting at the Mauschen. But we've got a slight lead, and we're not going to have one very long, especially if we lose that low in E-75. So their Scorp goes down. You can see we've got a bunch of campers in our corner. There goes an IS-3. So it's time to go figure out what's going on here. Where is that IS-3? Looking for a shot on him. There he is. He moved just enough to proxy light me, sees me in the bush. The WT hits me. So now I've found the WT. I know there's at least one of those up there. And he's firing HE, which actually changes my mind a little bit. If he's happy to fire HE, unless he gets a good pin, I'm probably not going to get hurt as bad as if he were firing regular AP, which would eat me alive. So I'm going to actually take a shot in where I think he is. And again, I'm really dawdling here. The T-44-100 went down to try to work on this guy, but he's getting torn up. Once he went, if I had gone, we probably would have killed this guy off quicker, and I'm still screwing around. And pretty much here in the next few seconds, I'll finally figure out, you know what, we have got to go get rid of this IS-3 because he's the only thing holding us up over here. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 tanks all being stopped by one near-dead IS-3. And the E-75 is still raging. And I see the Scorp going, so now, alright, let's do this. Just got to go. We got to get rid of this guy. Should have gone a long time ago. We get rid of him. I take a hit from the WT, who's still firing HE. And I'm just trying to kind of wiggle here, go as fast as possible. Maybe I can make this guy miss. Is he going to miss me? Where is he? Oh, of course, hits me. And somehow he's able to see me, shoot me, and not get spotted by the medium as I rage down the hill. I was behind several bushes there, so that makes him behind several bushes. And since I was lit, he gets to see me for a few seconds more. So I'll just come around here. Our hill guys are still sitting up there. Now I've got to be careful because I still don't know where all the TDs are. Their T-95 is lit. I know the WT's up in the corner. That leaves several of them. So I'm kind of half expecting one to be sitting down here somewhere in one of these bushes. But I don't get lit. I also don't want to get whacked by the 53, 55. Alright, so there's the 416. He was peeking over the corner, looking for exactly what I'm doing. He's trying to find out if anyone's coming around behind him, because he knows I came off the hill. So just try to get in this little V, just really hoping that 53, 55 doesn't shoot into me. But I can see now that the 416 is buggered off, and he's headed up, or headed down to the south. So I'm just going to come around this corner. The WT gets lit, because somehow the JT can see further than I can. I'm sure it had a lot to do with the bushes. And there'll actually be an interesting spotting situation a little bit later here, which I'll describe when we get to. So I've got to get rid of the WT. I can't have him behind me. He's getting spotted by the JT or somebody else. Maybe the T-44, probably the JT. And he dies. So I kind of start working up the hill, thinking, man, do I have to climb all the way up this bloody hill? And if I do, are there any TDs back behind me on the other side of this railroad tracks? But the good news is he dies. And now I can come down here and start working the peekaboo on these tracks. And what I really need to do is we really need to get this 416 gone. So he's probably the biggest thing keeping us from pushing into these guys and winning this game. I'll come this way, take a peek. I don't want to expose more than I have to. I may have even gone a little further than I should have right there. I back up looking to see if I get spotted because I want to know if my sixth sense goes off. And now I'm just waiting. Alright, where is that 416? Maybe the Scorpion G will light that guy. There he is. So I'll take a chance now. I'm just going to come up and over, aim in, fire, and get back. And I'm lit, so they know I'm over here now. I'm going to go over to the left to use this railroad or this train as cover from Artie. Kind of move around, make it harder for him to hit me. Now I should not be spotted here. It's been long enough. I've probably gone dark. We do know they have 4 TDs and an Artie. So I'm going to come up over here. And I was spotted. Alright, so I was spotted, so they know I'm here. That's the last time I was spotted. Rocking a little bit. And now I'm going to come up. Oh, there you go, Scorpion G. So think about when the last time I was spotted. I'm going to come up and over. I'm going to stop because I have a shot on this T95. I'm going to fire. And I'm immediately hit without any sixth sense going off. So, more than likely, one of two things happened here. First, I had not dropped my light. That light way back when, and I started rocking around, then I came up and over with the JT. I hadn't dropped the light, and whatever it was that was spotting us, as soon as I came back up and over, was still seeing me, and I carried the light all the way into here where I stopped. The other possibility is he saw me moving. This is probably less likely. He saw me moving and coming up and over. The light dropped. I came down here, and as soon as I fired, the camel went away and he saw me, but he hit me pretty immediately after I fired. So I think what happened is more than likely I never dropped the light. So that's something to think about. That was longer than I thought it should have been, but clearly I was still lit. Or he's just very lucky shooting into a bush, which I doubt. Continue to rock and roll here. Looking for that RHM. I would like a little revenge on that guy. 44-100 is doing some good work. I'm down to a one shot. All right, there he is. Let's take a shot, and no, right in the dirt, of course. All right, well, maybe the next shot. So he was essentially sitting there or very near to there the whole time and lighting us up. May have had binocs just enough to see the tracks right there, the road over the tracks. And since there's no bushes there or any cover, you should see us come over the top of it nearly every time. Now I've got an Artie and a TD, so I'm willing just to kind of sit here and be cheesy and let other people light. There goes the Ferdy. Dies quickly. Maybe he got one shot in. And I'm just going to wait here. As I get to the top, I'm just going to sit here because I know I've got the draw distance I need. I know the Artie's in there. Probably to the left of the red line, somewhere right about there maybe. Just for a moment I was considering he may have actually somehow hid up there with the WT and never been spotted, but he was actually up in that corner, and we end up killing them all. So there you go, get her done. First probably third of the battle doing the right thing. Spent a third of the battle futzing around, letting my heavies get hit there in 5 and 6 when I should have been pushing, being a little bit selfish, and then once I got off the hill and got moving, we're able to wrap this thing up. And towards the end, a fairly interesting example of the camo/lighting spotting system. I hope you learned something. Hope you like what you see. If you do, make sure you subscribe, and we will see you.